doing fine. Hey, okay, so a few things, and all right. I'm glad that we do have newcomers to the space like you, Rocky. But I think you all would benefit. I know and I listen to you and Scotty, and you do it all the time, and you talk about, well, that's that Negro stuff, that's that, this, that, and the other. But the things that you all dismiss is that, first of all, when you get these coaches that come into, like, even when you're talking about media deals, right? You want to use their celebrity. Oh, the SWAC should capitalize on this to do that. You've got this star power, blah, blah, blah. That is not how this works. You still are dealing with deeply systemic. You talk about the old guard of HBCUs. We're dealing with the old guard of network television and media. Okay. That it's not in their interest to pay HBCUs more for their product anyway, to give them more visibility anyway. So that's kind of the first thing that you're dealing with, right? So even if you bring in a Michael Vick or a Deshaun Jackson or an Ed Reed, they're coaching the games. They're not playing in the games. They'll bring some eyeballs or visibility, but even Deion Sanders only brought so much. They only put him up so high because he is coaching the game. He's not playing in it. It's not box office the way that you're capturing that white audience. And I'm sorry, even if you capture some more eyeballs for a limited amount of time, you are not capturing that large white audience, that viewership that's going to get you those higher level of media deals. You got smaller schools getting more eyeballs and attention simply because they are white schools. If Deion Sanders thought that it was truly possible for, his sons to be elevated, for Shedeur to be elevated to a place where, he's getting even mentioned in Heisman conversation in a real way. If he thought that type of thing was possible, even with his celebrity, he would have stayed at JSU. He thought there was no way possible on this earth that by his son staying at Jackson State and playing in the SWAC and being on ESPN2 or whatever else, even with his celebrity, even with the little hype, and the viewership that they got on YouTube, that still didn't translate to viability, credibility in the white majority. It just didn't. And so I don't really understand why you all think that hiring these celebrities, like that don't even have the cachet of a Deion Sanders, because that's a one-time thing. If he couldn't do it, if he didn't think he could do it for his own very exceptionally talented son, if he didn't think he could get him where he needed to be by keeping him in this space, what on earth makes you think that HBCUs can negotiate for these huge media deals simply by having somebody like Deshaun Jackson or Michael Vick on their sidelines? Simply by, you have to change the entire, first of all, the SWAC and the MEAC would have to be consistently stronger, would have to be 10 times better than than those white conferences that you think of at the P4 and P5 level, for people to even give them any type of credence or credibility and say, you know what, they're pretty good. I think I'll tune in. Then the entire leagues would have to be consistently that good. You don't get that by a flash in the pan hire like a Mike Vick and a Deshaun Jackson, who are just there for a limited time. People know they aren't really committed to the mission. When you have your pundit friends in the media saying things like, oh, they'd like to be considered for this job, they'd like to be considered for that job, like Deion was, they knew those guys weren't staying, that they weren't committed to the mission, that this wasn't about leveling a playing field or elevating HBCUs. They're there for themselves.
Well, KJ, let me say something, and because I believe in what HBCUs have to offer is something very unique as an entertainment product. It shouldn't have to be marketed as the same way that Alabama and Michigan and Ohio State. This is something for black people by black people. And again, I've been to a few homecomings over the past several years, a SWAC championship, whatever. What you guys have to offer in the HBCU space is so very unique to the black experience in America. You guys take it for granted, but it is a very unusual occurrence for most black people in America. Like to have 30 or 40,000 black people in one space celebrating having a good time, no ninja stuff, happening, just truly enjoying the moment, enjoying the history, enjoying the culture. And in the midst of a competition, it's something absolutely sensational. And that in and of itself can be marketed and shown in a way that it could go from a 30, 40,000 people gathering to possibly $100,000, $200,000 gathering. That's just how impactful and unique that experience that you guys really, in a lot of ways, I think y'all take for granted within the HBCU space.
But Coach,
I think some people take it for granted, but sorry, Coach Cole, 1 second. I think some people take it for granted, but honestly, I don't really think it's us that takes it for granted. I think it's people like you that take it for granted, because as soon as something like, no, listen, Deion Sanders was here. He was highlighting that culture. He was highlighting, how great it is, how grand it is. And as soon as he started perpetuating other narratives about Jackson State, because let's be honest, he did, and those close to him did, we had same Black people like you saying again, oh, I knew N-words couldn't do this, Black people, we can't do that, blah, blah, blah. I ain't gonna never support nothing else JSU does. I hope they fail, blah, blah, blah. Laughing, point at like, oh, Colorado is better and things like that. I don't really think it's the HBCU community that doesn't think that we're marketable or that we are great or that it's a unique product. I honestly think that it is Black people that don't value Black things and Black products at a high clip like they do your Bama or your, it's even more special. A culture that we have created, but you will see, I saw more Black people running out buying Colorado gear. Couldn't wait to wear it. Going out buying bus gear. Ain't never seen a Buffalo, ain't never seen a mountain. Ain't never been to college. But they ran out there. It was easy to buy JSU there was JSU paraphernalia all over the place. We have our ways that you can purchase it and that you can market. So it wasn't just that. It was that Black people felt, you know what? White people are acknowledging Deion in this way. I can get behind this because this is a unheard of thing. This is a big time thing. And Colorado ain't ish when it comes to football and in the grand scheme of things. But we still had Black people that placed a higher value on Deion Sanders being at Colorado. Go Buffs that ain't never heard of no damn Colorado Buffaloes before. But when he was at Jackson State, you couldn't get them to purchase a ticket. You couldn't get them to attend a game. You couldn't get them to buy JSU paraphernalia because they don't value it the same. So we can get Black people to start valuing Black things in the way that they value white things. I mean, I even heard people like you calling JSU the Chitlin circuit. Like, seriously, how are we as HBCU alums supposed to change mindsets and mentalities?
Well, one AJ, to piggyback on what you say, it's hard to write people. Everything starts from the top. We had a business guy on about 2 weeks ago named Rudy Johnson. It starts from the top. And we got to put people in place to do just what you say, value our schools. Go out and make those contacts and make those things happen and look at the HBCU brand instead of individual schools. It's just we could take the same model that the SEC took, Notre Dame took, now all the other conferences take it, of putting a package together of all of our classics, where every week there's 40, 50, 60,000 people. Orange Blossom City Classic, Labor Day Classic, Magic City Classic, and sell that. But the problem is, like you said, KJ, I don't even think that we value athletics. We're still in the envy stage, because back in the day, we just started playing at white schools in the 70s. And then in the 80s, our administrators started wanting to take over all the way through the 90s, where the football coach used to be the guy on campus to now he ain't the guy,
Yeah.
So instead of us so busy on trying to find a guy I can tell what to do, we getting rid of our winning coaches or putting them on the shelf and now saying, oh, the coach that comes in, let's get a celebrity coach because then this is going to happen. I think our people at the top need to get off their ass and go out and start with the smart thinking, as Rocky says so diligently about touching these people. But we got to do it as the HBCU brand instead of each different university. Delaware State been a perennial loser for years. They've had some ups and downs, but most of the time, Valley, Pine Bluff. But you talking about your Jackson States, your Florida A&Ms, your Alabama States, then we can come as a group. We got to think like they think and do like they do, but on a smaller level. They're getting 1 billion while we can't get 500 million.
So
but until we present it that way, we gonna be right here where you said it so diligently and nicely, KJ. You are on point.
And KJ, I just want to say this last thing is that one of the things that I believe is as a Black person is that if the HBCU loyalists, the HBCU culture made it more accessible for sidewalk fans to be part of the space and be welcomed in the space, then I think that's what I mean when you talk about grow the experience, grow the brand. Because sidewalk fans, and I'll say this, KJ, when you first come in this space, we are treated as someone that should not have a voice, an opinion, or even have nothing to say about what's going on within HBCUs, when as sidewalk fans, we are in other institutions, we are the majority. Sidewalk fans are the majority, and they see us valuable as being very valuable in those other spaces. And I'll just say that.
You are right. I think we, in a way, but I will say this, and I'm gonna let y'all go. We gatekeep, and sometimes to our detriment, we absolutely do. But also we gatekeep for our survival. You don't have another. If you think about HBCUs and how unique they are, and how we have kept them, and how they have survived for this long, part of the reason is gatekeeping. I hate to say that, but what other system or what other network of something that as unique to Black people do we have other than HBCUs that Black people have kept, have grown, and have not let be taken over, and we just become a side act or entertainment to it than HBCUs. So I'll leave that there. When you can answer that, then we can have a conversation about the gatekeeping and inclusion we do. The church, right? And where has that gotten? And I am a Christian, but I'm yeah.
Well, what happens is you guys come into our homes and start saying this, that, and the other, and not finding out really basically where the issues and the problems are. You know what I mean? And you want to try to give us direction, and some things ain't in place. And I'm telling you guys, it's not in place at the top. Most Black colleges are sitting in Republican states. Most Black colleges are ran by conservatives. We in the border regions and stuff. If money is an issue, which it is, and we got some states that owe us money. We understand that, but it's got to start from the top, and hiring. And I'm telling you what PWIs are going to. They are going to hiring guys with marketing degrees, guys with financial degrees at the president level, let alone at the athletic director level. And we have to do those things, man, and be more creative. And we being creative. But what we're doing here about hiring these guys as celebrity is what you call, to me, being lazy and not doing what we're supposed to do. And we're taking opportunities from other, as you want to call them, career coaches, the guys that can come in. Because at the end of the day, KJ, Mr. Bishop, and my man, Rocky, we got to do what, Rocky? We
got to win.
You got to win, baby, win. It can't start from the bottom. It's got to start from the top.
Yeah.
But coach is not the answer.
Well, when you have an example, so you just mentioned something, and I have an example of it, talking about, coming in, not understanding and not listening. Jackson State had to deal with narratives pushed by, of all people, Uncle Luke, about Jackson State must be stealing money because the governor of Mississippi told Deion Sanders, Jackson State must be stealing money because I've given them plenty of money. Now, we all know in the space how foolish that is, but yet Jackson State now has to deal with narratives about that pushed by people connected to Deion Sanders, somebody who was an outsider who we invited in, who did not understand the historical context, and that is now out there in the world, in the atmosphere. I've had to hear it when I've talked to students about JSU. So again,
and
we gatekeep for a reason.
Did they steal his jewelry too?
I know, you know what? It was, he said, so Uncle Luke's put it out there that Deion said that the governor told him that Jackson State must be stealing the money because I've given them plenty of money. So that was first lie that we've had to deal with. Then the other thing, it wasn't jewelry. It was some bag he had. Deion didn't even bother to ask security or anybody else after the first game. Hey, y'all seen my stuff? No, he went in his press conference after his game and did that whole thing. Can't we all just get along? I'm hearing Jackson trying to do a good thing and they stealing. And turns out the bag had been moved. But he got on a public platform with representing a Black university in a press conference, and he said that. So again, an outsider that should have known better than that if they knew what we already have to deal with and the anti-Black narratives that we already had to deal with, that shouldn't have gone out there and said that. And you can be a fan of his and also give him accountability for not listening, not learning, and just speaking. And in some ways that was negative and harmful to Jackson State University and HBCUs. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to drop off and I'm going to let y'all continue with your conversation.
Thank you for calling in, KJ.
Hey, Rocky, let me jump on something that you said. You're talking about gatekeeping, and you said, the sidewalk fan, and some people in the, in the Midwest, the subway fan, know that they have what they call the subway fan. But let me tell you something about gatekeeping. Do not think that they don't gatekeep. Now I'm gonna give you 3 instances of gatekeeping from PWIs. And I'm talking about one that just happened recent. So we all know that Deion and Shannon Sharp are fans. Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith are friends with Deion, right? And they have put narrative out. He needs to coach at Auburn. He should be at Ohio State and them. Once Ryan Day don't win, he need to get fired. Well, I'm gonna tell you about gatekeeper. That white boy Herb Street, who is an Ohio State grad quarterback, let them Black men know you don't talk about Ohio State. That's gatekeeping. See, y'all the subway guys. Y'all the guys that don't know nothing about Ohio State. So don't bring that fool up here. Those guys, and Blue will tell you, all those people, they will call in Paul Feinbaum. Well, you know what? They need to hire Deion down in Auburn. Them Auburn folks say, you need to mind your business. We about to hire Hugh Freeze. Florida State, what they win 3 games this year? But let me tell you something. And EA will tell you, them jokers circle the wagon. Oh, Deion come, and these are the people like you that ain't tied to the university. Deion need to come to Florida State. Florida State ain't gonna never hire Deion. You know what they did? They went and hired 2 head coaches just to save that white man's job down there in Florida State, so Deion can't get down there. So don't say to me that we gatekeep, bro. They gatekeep all the time.
No, I didn't say that.
I'm talking about the fan. Well, you saying, when the fans come in, they will. If you are the casual fan, they will check you just like Kurt Herbstreit checked. And on national TV, he checked Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp. Check them, and they had to jump in his behind. So what I'm saying is, man, this ain't a thing. And also, road shows. Hey, man, glad that you're watching and stuff like that. But let me tell you something. Most people. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it out loud. Do not believe social media is the real world about HBCU sports. Because I'm telling you, there are people, they got the Blue Bingo Club. They got the 220 Club. Southern got the Jaguar Club. They got the G Club down the ground. These people been doing it before social media that support athletics, that talk about athletics. If you don't think athletics, man, you go down there, X81, and talk to Grambling and see what they talking about Mickey Joseph right now and what Grambling needs to do. If you don't believe that athletics means talk to someone from FAMU and what Coach Cozy needs to do. If you don't think athletics matter, talk to those people at North Carolina A&T. And what Sean Gibbs has to do. We have always cared about our sport. What you see, and unfortunately, is a very narrow perspective of negativity, unfortunately, that is in this space. And that people come in, and most of the people that are doing this talk are not even fans. They came in with Deion. Right. They weren't longtime fans of Jackson State. They weren't longtime fans of FAMU, Southern, Grambling. Because I talked to them. And you asked them, well, who was the coach before Deion? Oh, I don't know. Who were the top players before Deion brought all those guys? I don't know. You ain't a fan. So that's what I'm just letting you know. We are fans. And this is what this show, and Coach, I'm sorry, I had to do this rant. This is the reason why we literally have a person who was born in the SWAC. He played in the SWAC. He coached in the SWAC. We care. This show is about we caring. That's what's different about this show. Rocky is here because you know what? And his daughter goes to Prairie View. And I respect that. He's here because he cares. Rocky could be doing anything else. He cares about this. So we actually care about the sports, just to let y'all know.
Yeah. We got a caller?
Yeah. We got to.
Yeah. Let me know when I can get started.
Hey, keep it fam. I know you like giving them speeches, but we trying to get out here and enjoy some eggnog. So go ahead. Do your thing, keep it fam.
All right. Here we go. Lies, false narratives, and everything in between. I'm not going to call nobody out, but I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to try to, because that last caller, man, okay. I had a plan years ago, right? On Twitter, on social media, where I talked about a plan. It was called True Group Economics, right? I was talking to Jackson State alums, a few Jackson State alums and a few supporters about it. I said, if you can get 1,000 people who can financially put together $10,000 a year, you will come up with $10,000 and you can finance the university, right? A lot of them told me that it wasn't possible because of the same old conversations, jealousy, it's envy, it's all of these excuses in the space. But a funny thing happened, right? 2 years, I want to say between now, 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, Jackson State got together and did a group economic plan to where they raised $50,000 in 2 weeks through a thing called Giveify that started the KC 100 and Friends without the conversation about my true group economics plan, right? That never happens. But this is what they try to tell me. They talk about black people devaluing black things, but they don't talk about the negativity in this space when it comes to doubt. Because a lot of people in these spaces, what they'll do is they'll say, well, this ain't possible and that ain't possible. And they want this and they want that, but they won't go step by step of people who have laid the foundations of plans throughout the years. Coach Simmons on his YouTube channel is one of them. I am another one. I told everybody this. If you want black people to value black things that are not in HBCU spaces, y'all call them casuals, right? If y'all want these people to financially get invested in HBCU culture and HBCU football, you will have to gravitate towards the things that they care about. And who is that? Your Ed Reeds, your Michael Vicks, your Deshaun Jacksons, I can go on. I can continue to list the people that these people care about. I'm not just talking about any typical NFL player like a Teddy Bridgewater or a Sam Shea that nobody's going to care. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people that the casuals will get motivated, right? Will want to spend their hard-earned money and time into HBCU spaces that a lot of them are not privy to or not familiar with, right? But you're going to have to go into those spaces, figure out what they care about. Because at the end of the day, those TV deals and partnerships that HBCUs are trying to get, when it comes to garnering interest from casual viewers, right? You are going to have these figurehead hires, such as a Ed Reed, such as a Ray Lewis, such as a Michael Vick, right? That when you form this super HBCU conference, because I want to make this clear, when you form this super HBCU conference, those deals and those brand partners, whatever you try to get for HBCUs, you will be able to obtain. Why? Because now you have the interest of what they care about. You have to stop thinking about HBCU people, right? Playing HBCU politics, because that's really what it comes down to.
All right.
You're going to have to start thinking about You're going to have to start thinking about business people and what they think, because they're the ones that you're going to when it comes to sitting down for the deal.
All right, let's have a conversation, right?
Go ahead.
So
go ahead, Coach.
What you're saying is HBCU administrators, HBCU staff must go in spaces where the casual fan is and establish a connection with that casual fan. Is there anything they can do other than hire a celebrity coach in order to do that.
I said this a few times on a lot of other spaces. I said, look, if you can go outside of the means of finding a billionaire, a few of them, right, who are willing to invest the same amount of capital, right, that is going to require to take HBCU athletics and HBCUs as a whole to the next level, then do so. The problem is that they won't do it because they have the same mindset and mentality as the same people that they're going to try to get these interests from that they're not getting the total value of. Why? Because there's no real value in the space where it should be. What I mean by that is this. Michael Vick adds the value. Deshaun Jackson adds the value. With the hire of an Ed Reed and a Ray Lewis, they will also add the value. When you take these four entities and you combine it with the super HBCU conference, and you go sit down at the table, listen, and you go and sit down at the table with these people who you're trying to get these deals from, these television deals from, right? You will now have the value and the space of what they're trying to look for when it comes to getting the market value of the dollars and asset revenue from casuals, because those are the people that they care about. Not HBCU viewers, not HBCU alums and supporters such as me and Rock, right? That just came into the space because Dion brought our attentions into the space, right? These people that you are trying to get the market value for, the same way that the Mountain West went to TNT and got their value.
All right, that's enough of that. I done had enough of that. I'm sorry, and fam, I appreciate you calling in, but I had enough. So I hope y'all understood what he was saying.
No, I want to let me address this point. Let me, because you know what, I've seen that brother on a lot of things. And listen, I'm gonna say this to everybody. Hey man, this show is that we don't mind. Hey man, if you got an opposing point of view, we don't mind you calling up. We just want you to be succinct because we got other people and we want to get to the point. So let me tell you what he's saying. And I sat back and I really listened to him. So again, it's about eyeballs. It's not specific eyeballs. That's what his argument is. It's not specific eyeballs. And he said, hey, these guys, if you have these name brand people, casual people, look like Rocky, you came in because of Dion. But here's the thing, right? And this is why I think Coach Cole is going to answer this. Okay, you hired Deshaun Jackson, but the value comes in a straight line, right? It starts from an A to a Z point. And here's the thing. If Deshaun Jackson doesn't win, ain't nobody going to watch that game, okay? Nobody is going to watch them play. If the level of players that, again, soon to be NFL type players are not being recruited and developed, nobody's going to watch him. So the question always is, and I think, and Coach Cole knows this, when we were at our zenith, at our apex, we had talented players that people wanted to watch, and we had talented coaches that coached them. So for me, it's not so much as having a name. It's about making sure we got great coaches to develop players. Because you know what I saw, and I'm going to use, I think the pinnacle game was when you watched Jackson State play North Carolina Central. That was high-level football. It ain't got nothing to do with Dion. If you just was a casual guy and you saw that, man, that was a great football game to watch, okay? When you saw FAMU and Jackson State play that 7-6 slugfest down in Miami, and it was score, but that was high-level football because you know what? You had guys all over the field. Isaiah Land, Marquise Smith, Xavier Smith, James Houston, guys on that Nugget, all those guys, Shador, that were NFL-type guys on there that people were watching. So to me, it's not so much as having the name coach because, again, you got to win because nobody's going to watch a losing coach. If you don't believe it, see why Bill Belichick doesn't have once Tom Brady left. You see, that name didn't mean anything. Nobody wanted to hire him. So that's the reason why I just wanted to point that out. So I think we want to elevate, but just saying that stick a name here and then everybody's going to come running. No, it has to be a total. It has to be a winning product and it has to be great players that come on the field. And that's the thing that has to be also be done.
Well, real quick, and I'm going to get to Johnnie because he's one of our followers, man. I mean, you could take any losing program and like I always say, you know, I want to keep, it's the HBCU brand. It's not one school. It's not one person. The upper people has to sell the HBCU brand, number one. Number two, I always said, you know, I've been in a city where when I was at Houston, when I was coaching at Texas Southern, the Titans, they wasn't winning. you could get a seat anywhere in the house. You know what I mean? And people are not loyal, quote unquote, to pro teams. They go watch pro teams to see them play at the highest level. But if they're not any good, people stop going to the game. So why do we think that we're taking some of these guys a celebrity and say, okay, you are now the face of the university? Then all of a sudden, all this money gonna pour in, and then he produces a bad product. It's not gonna happen.
So
go ahead, Johnny. I just wanted to make sure.
well, I just wanted to say one thing, Coach Cole. I think it's easier to build a compelling story around a celebrity coach. That's all I'm saying. Because the story is essentially what sells. And to your credit, Coach, winning has to be part of that story.
At the end, that's the end game, Coach. And I don't know. I was just thinking. I said, "Dang, man." So if I run the go-kart and I race the go-kart and I'm the go-kart national world champion, right? Do I hand the go-kart winner my NASCAR car that goes over 50 miles per hour? No. He's gonna have to show me that he can go faster. He's been around. I want to see where he at. It just don't happen like that, man. It just don't happen. Tennessee State is going through the same thing. Eddie George came in there. He's been there 5 years. He won the championship. 2,500 people showed up at the championship game. No morale. Season tickets hadn't went up. School is broke. And he's a celebrity. And it just don't happen. I see, and what I've talked to my Tennessee State people is that he don't have the relationship with the alumni. So I want to end it there. You want to pass it to Thornton, Rocky?
Go ahead, Mr. Thornton.
Hey guys, hey Coach Cole, I hate to talk about other people's business, but since you mentioned Tennessee State, you were right. I was talking to one of their alums, and with Coach George, by him not basically understanding the culture, they got into this tiff about showing up and going into the game versus like we do at North Carolina Central sometimes. I have season tickets. We got people that donated tens of thousands of dollars. Stand outside in the overflow area and laugh and talk during the whole game and the parking lot. And now you got at Tennessee State, is sad because Eddie George is a quality gentleman, and he's becoming a much better coach. He brought in coaches. He did bring assets. He brought in coaches to coach that Tennessee State might not have could have afforded, but they did it for Coach Eddie George. But back to the coaches we are talking about right now, and Coach Prime. I know the good, the bad, and the ugly on Coach Prime, and he has been improving his life every step of the way. And one thing that he did, he coached his children. He didn't just coach his children alone. He volunteered and coached other children. He volunteered and coached. He put into the culture all the way up. He didn't just wake up one day and say, I want to be in charge of Jackson State. So let's get back to who we're talking about right now. You have two coaches that we don't even know if they have degrees or not. And let me tell you about Coach Vic. I'm the first person to say that man was treated wrong with what happened to him. That was wrong. But on the flip side, if y'all want to be mad with somebody, be mad with the Falcons and the Falcons owners. Because Mr. Blank could have stopped it with one phone call. Okay, but that's beside us. Coach Vic has tried to turn it around. But even right now, in the state of Virginia, Coach Vic still, the Peter people, they won't let it go. And you're not supposed to be a teacher if you're a convicted felon. So there's a lot. You can't mix every HBCU in the same bottle. And like Coach Cole say, the celebrity coach is not the instant answer. And Rocky, if you ever come to Durham, we don't play that treating our non-Eagle people, our non-alumni any different than our alumni. if it wasn't for non-alumni in Durham, North Carolina, I wouldn't be sitting here right now, man. They did just as the people from Durham, we affectionately call people Durhamites, and we don't mean it in a derogatory term. They did so many favors for me. It's unreal, Rocky. And again, each culture is different. Sometimes we get so caught up in this butt and seats things. We have people at Central, I'm telling you, man, they give $1,000 a year, $2,000 a year, haven't been on the yard in 30 years to a football game. So this thing about celebrity coaches or NFL coaches, I have no problem with
Mr. Thorne, Mr. Thorne, let me step in here.
Yes, sir.
Let me step in here and say something, because I think that's part of the issue you're speaking about, and the reason why HBCU football and HBCU sports have trouble growing is because and I think Mr. Thornton got some feedback. Maybe maybe it's not. Hold on, let me see.
Go ahead, you sound good, Coach. You sound good.
No, you good. So this is what I'm saying. The fact of the matter is, the football, in order for football to grow, the football has to be important. The football, not the social event that's created by homecoming or a classic or whatever. For football to grow, football is the vehicle for which most major universities has established their brand using football and invested in the football. And so somehow the football has to be important. The football has to be important. Not the tailgate, not the social event, not the Greek show or the band. In order for HBCUs to capitalize on football the way that Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, University of Maryland, University of North Carolina, the football has to matter. And that's what I think Eddie George is trying to get across to his supporters and the TSU alumni, is that the football has to be important, not the event itself. And I'll let you respond.
I got a good friend of mine. We've had Al Wash on, and one of the things Al Wash said about his game is he's made his football game an event. He's over the Grambling Prairie View game, the State Fair Classic game, and Grambling had beat Prairie View like 30 years in a row. But people kept coming. As every year is 50,000 and 60,000.
He got the Barcades. He got Cameo. He got Luther Vandross.
So what I'm saying is, whoever the coach was didn't matter. We're talking about Doug Williams was the coach for several years there, and it didn't matter if people showed up at the game.
And that hurts football, Coach. That hurts football.
Right, and it was, and that means they made it an event around the game, so it don't matter who the coach was, and that's what I'm trying to get past. At the end of the day, it's about the HBCU brand, and about winning traditions. Because let me give you this scenario of a recruiter, and these guys will tell you, or ex-coaches will tell you, before the NIL. Name, like, and image, where they were paying players, the number one thing a recruit will go is to a traditional winning program in a level. That's the first thing a kid wants. I want to play for the best team because I want to play for championships, and I want to get the best opportunity to go to the league. Then they go about coaching, and then they go about the city where the school is. Then they go about, do they know some people? Man, the celebrity coach or coach has to be able to make that kid understand and feel that I can help you get to the next level.
Coach, let me say this, Coach, and I want to point this out, and then we'll let John.
Rocky. Okay. No, Rocky. What I was going to say, I think you misunderstood something. you're right that football has to grow. It takes money to grow a football program. And what I'm trying to explain to you is at Tennessee State and at North Carolina Central for sure. I give an example. At my homecoming, one of my coworkers he and I got together. We took $5,000 of our money and turned it into $10,000 and gave it to football. He could not even come to the homecoming game. I spent most of my time on the perimeter trying to make sure our security concerns were intact. That mean we didn't love Trey and them kids on the field. We had put our money where our mouths were. Several other older, more mature football players than us had given us thousands of dollars, and they said, Johnny, I'll be there next year, or I'll be there the next year. And that's our culture at North Carolina Central. That we put the money in there.
Thing. Can I ask one
go
thing,
ahead,
Coach Johnny? We're gonna have to go to the next thing. You've been a North Carolina Central person. In your career, do people give more money when you guys were losing, or they have to get more money when y'all became a winning program?
We definitely got more money as a winning program, as an engaging program. You got to win, but you have to win. And to add to what you're saying, Coach Cole, over the years, we have been a program that said we put more value on our young men coming in as boys, leaving as young men, going into a variety of careers. And if you luck up and make it to the league, fine. But if you don't, you're going to leave here and you're going to know how to have a job. Coach Johnnie Outlaw coached us 11 years in the NFL. Coach Robert Jackson, World War II veteran after being a Hall of Fame player at A&T, first black person to be drafted from it.
Coach George, we got to go to our next caller.
All right. Only thing I was going to say is, Coach Cole, you know, you're right about this. Winning used to matter. Winning is not important anymore because, you know, the two most popular college football players this season, you know, the previous year, they only won 4 games.
And who is that?
Travis Hunter and Shedeur. They were the 2 most popular players in college football. And the year before, they won 4 games from a non-traditional program. So who the coach is in this particular iteration of college football, who the coach is matter, and the attention that the program gets actually matters as well. Go ahead, Marco.
I agree and disagree with both points, celebrity coach and no celebrity coach. I can find agreement with non-celebrity, just traditional coach. I can find agreement with hiring a celebrity coach, but I want to point to what the problem is. The problem is the failure of the SWAC and the MEAC to make strategic alliances and partnerships. Now, if the SWAC had a strategic partnership with the NFL or another sports organization for coach training and not even just training, but a pipeline of coaches to prepare them to move up and hopefully one day reach the NFL once they complete the training and also get the representation. Then we wouldn't be hiring celebrity coaches because the pipeline pathway would be in place.
Let me cut you off and say this. They already got that involved. I went to the Exodus Clinic. I've been to Dallas where HBCU have a relationship with the NFL where they're black coaches. Just last year, the NFL gave each NFL team 1 or 2 positions to hire African American. So that's been in place.
Let me ask you this
that's why now that you see a lot of black faces and stuff on the sideline. So
but they don't have a partnership. They don't have an agreement with the SWAC to stick in that. That's something you did on your own, right?
It's not necessarily directly with the SWAC, but it's the positions that the NFL has put together for black coaches. And there is a lot of black coaches that at these schools that are actually getting those opportunities to go spend the summer with the NFL teams. And some of those guys have actually moved. I got a couple of my guys that coach under me is actually coaching in the NFL. So those things are in place.
Marco, see, this is one of the problems as an outsider, and I'm gonna speak as an outsider on this because I don't know the history or whatever. And when you talk about football, why would you want somebody to come in and treat football more important than the actual institutions treat football? Like in the reality of it is, if you don't value it, why does anybody else value it? Like it was.
But Rocky, football.
Hold up. Just a few years ago, there are schools just now getting training tables for their college athletes. Just now. That's been going on. I'm 54 years old, and I went to a junior college, Tyler Junior College. We had training table back then.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but
period every night for football players. Let me ask you this. Hold up. Let me say this. So my point is, ain't nobody gonna come this after 40, 50, 100 years. Ain't nobody gonna come to save black people. Don't nobody have to come save HBCU football, because I see all those people at those homecomings. I see all those luxury vehicles at those homecomings. I see all those RVs at those homecomings. I have friends that are from Prairie View that are very wealthy, very well connected all over the state. Don't nobody need to come save HBCUs.
That's why we don't need no celebrity
HBCUs. Don't nobody need to come. Hold on. Y'all got everything y'all need. Y'all just need to invest in football or whatever you feel is important to y'all. You have to give up your money. You may have to drive, instead of driving a S class, you may need to drive a C class. Instead of having a double wide RV, you may have to get a single wide RV. But y'all have everything y'all need to be great.
You talking crazy.
You need and we don't need a celebrity coach. We need to take care of our own. All right, go Marco.
Let me chime in. I think you're both wrong. And here's why. The reason why you're in a situation where you need a celebrity coach is because the school is not spending the money for advertising and marketing for the program. Coach Cole, let me ask you this. In the 70s, 80s, maybe the early 90s, Jet Magazine gone by the 90s. But
you made a point, but go ahead. You go ahead and mess it up.
No, I'm not messing it up. Back in the day, we had national publications that actually handled PR and marketing for all the HBCUs at some point in time. Every time you got a Jet Magazine, it was an article in there about Eddie Robinson, an article about some other coaches, South Carolina State. It was the football, the star player, whatnot. Ebony Magazine sometimes had the cheerleading squad in there, HBCU in there sometimes. There was other magazines that had it in there. Your local black-owned newspapers had articles on your coaches, high school and college, and the players, star players, and where they were going and where and all that sort of stuff.
Marco, let me say this. The reason why, I'm going to sum it up for you. The reason why they want celebrity coaches, because they want somebody to do, they want their people to do what they know they should do. And the only reason they'll do it is because is when they have a celebrity coach. That's what they know that black people will follow a celebrity. And for that reason, they hire a celebrity coach, because the people who support the institution, the people who got degrees from the institution, even the people that work for the institution, they know they don't support it the way they should unless there's a celebrity involved.
Hold on, Rocky. But Rocky, when you pay for PR, you create your own celebrity. And go back. Hold on. Let me make my point now. Let me ask you. So hold on. What's his name here? Well, the other guy on here. What's his
Bishop,
name?
Bishop Campbell.
Miss Campbell. What is the percentage or the amount of money that FAMU is spending on promotion and marketing in their athletic budget?
All right, let me now that because I don't want to be non-factual. I don't know that answer, but I want to point out. So I want to point out.
But the point I'm trying to make
is a perennial winning program.
Before you answer that, there's a difference in how FAMU markets itself locally in the Tallahassee market that everybody from the outside can see. There's a difference right now in what Jackson State is doing locally in its market that everybody from the outside can see, even A&T, even Southern. What I'm saying is this: if you don't pay for PR and marketing, like all this past fall and the summer, Coach Cole, if you had paid a PR firm back then, and I've done nothing, no knock on you, but I'm saying if you had paid a PR firm starting in last May, by now you'd be a celebrity, and it would be crazy to not even talk to you and hire you at this point. Somebody would have had to stop the noise, stop the rain, because that's how PR works. That's what they're paid to do. You tell them what your objectives is, they tell you what the monthly fee is, and they put you in position. That's the cheat code. That is business. If you own a business, you market yourself, you set yourself up so that you can move your most valuable product. And when you have stuff, you have overages, you set yourself up to move the non-moving products. You promote and market it to your target audience. We're not seeing that in HBCU sports. That's why our stadiums are empty.
Marco, can we move to the next one? Because we look, we got to get to the parties too now. You know.
All right.
But let me piggyback on that a little bit. I think he's very correct about our marketing our programs. And I've always said that as if I ever became an athletic director, I would definitely put money into my marketing and stuff before I even put out scholarships and anything else, because you got to let people know, being in the fourth largest city in Houston and going to school there, I think we don't do a good job of that. All we asking for is 0.1% of over 4 million plus people to come to our games. But if you don't know we playing, and if you don't know we over there, so I do buy that model. But go ahead. We got the man.
I've been wanting to have this conversation with you, Coach Cole, because I'm a staunch celebrity believer. This is my thing, Coach. And Delaware State has consistently hired regular guys. Norfolk State has consistently hired regular guys, and none of them have won. And Dawson Odoms was a championship coach, so they did what you would say is, hey, go get a winner. He was a winner at Southern. Brought him over to the MEAC. He never could flourish. And mind you, he only had to win 5 games. I mean, that's it. It ain't the hard MEAC where you got NCAT, Hampton, FAM, Bethune. It ain't that MEAC. You got to win 5 games. You can go 0 whatever and out of conference and win 5 games and go to the Celebration Bowl.
Chennis Beard showed you how easy it was.
My whole thing is this. Does Jackson State get that practice field if it wasn't for Dion? Does TC Taylor walk into that situation? You take Dion out that situation. Are they still playing on that field that gets muddy, that gets wet? They got to come inside. They got to go down the street to play. Like, these are resources. Listen, the thing that I've always said about celebrity coaches is, if I'm not using you for your resources, then this is irrelevant. I do not care about wins and losses.
Can I ask one thing real quick? I want you to keep talking. What makes an NFL player? Is it him playing in the NFL, or does he have to do something special, him a celebrity?
I think it has to be.
Because the model NFL coaches have came into the league way back. I told you I played for an NFL coach. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think for this day and age, and I agree with Rocky and Marco with the make your celebrity. You can't make a celebrity. Shut up. That don't even make sense, right? What happens is in this day and age, I want to be very clear. I'm not talking because I don't want to hear nothing about no 70s. I don't want to hear nothing about no 60s. I don't want to hear nothing about no 80s. We're not there anymore. Price of milk was what? 50 cents? We're not there no more. You know what I'm saying? Let's not even talk about those days.
They used to deliver milk.
Come
Well,
on,
let
man.
me stop you right there. Winning and losing don't have no age. And at the end of the day, it always counts.
I'm not talking about wins. I'm talking about the era of media and the era of advertising and the era of business has all changed from the 80s.
This is why I can't buy that, Scotty. Who else is going with this model in sports?
Because they don't need the model because they're making money.
In any sport, have any sport hired a person just because he was a celebrity to be the CEO, the head coach of their program.
UAB.
In any sport.
But this is my
in
thing.
Any sport.
Listen,
answer that
UAB.
question.
I just answered it. UAB and Colorado.
No.
No.
He had experience. No.
Was a listen. And Mr. Campbell, me and Mr. Campbell talked about it when he first got hired. Mr. Campbell said Colorado was in such dumps that it was a win-win. It didn't matter if Deion went 2-9. Just the electrifying stuff of what Deion did reinvigorated their financial department.
Where did he do it, Scotty?
And they had like a 1,500. It was a crazy increase in merchandise and purchases.
HBCU gave him the platform. Deion needed Jackson State just as much.
I never said they didn't.
Deion needed Jackson State way more than they needed Deion.
So Coach Cole, this is I'm gonna step here and just say this. You can't compare the condition of HBCU football, right, to the condition of Colorado. They needed two different things. Colorado already had a state-of-the-art football stadium. They already had state-of-the-art practice facilities. They already had state-of-the-art treatment facilities. They were pioneers in sports medicine already.
They had training tables.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. I got to actually. Wait a minute. I got
training from Jackson State.
But wait a minute.
There's no Jackson State to give Deion the platform. It's no Colorado.
Nobody's saying you're wrong. Nobody's saying you're wrong.
You're right, Coach. You're right.
Wrong. Go ahead, Mr. Campbell.
Exactly, Coach.
If
Deion was a flop, excuse me, Coach Bishop, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know because we got to go get them drinks now. If Deion was a flop, if Deion flopped at Jackson State, it was no Colorado. And Jackson State will still average 39,000.
And they would have had a practice field.
That was all to me.
And they would have had a practice field.
Now,
and if you gave the job to TC Taylor, you wouldn't have a practice. You wouldn't have a brand new practice field. No, listen. The players' lounge in the new locker room that was on the way. The practice field that he got through Walmart, that was not through Jackson. That was through.
Hey, my name is Danny Wilson, and I won $500 on the lunch break with AJ Jones.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.